running for Governor Bob McDonnell.
Thank you. Well, thank you all very much. Package in there. Silly working. Well, good afternoon. Boy, is it great to be back here at the Ruritan Club. Shad Planking, thank you, Lieutenant Governor Hager. Great to be on the stage with all these great Virginians. And I hope you all go by my booth. We're serving beer and tea, the two best drinks to fight tax increases here in Virginia. Well, you know, the Shad Planking is one of Virginia's great traditions. I was at the King William Fish Fry yesterday. The Ruritan Club does that. Now here at the Shad Planking. It's really great to be here again for about the 8th year in a row. Great to be with my running mate, our great Lieutenant Governor, Bill Bowling, who's doing a terrific job. You know, it's kind of interesting. This is the first Shad Planking I've been to that we actually have on April 15th, tax day. And you know, that points out some of the differences between Republicans and Democrats. Republicans know that Independence Day is the 4th of July. Democrats think that it's April 15th. Now, I want to congratulate my staff because they have really done a great job. I have more signs out there than any Republican candidate for governor here today. Now, I want to say, you know, I've got a couple of my opponents here today. Brian and Terry are here, so I think it's only fitting that we're standing in a bunch of mud with those two guys here. Now, let me just say, this Shad Planking actually means a lot more to me than any of the other 8 that I've attended. I've learned a lot about the biology of shad lately. You know, they're known for being mighty swimmers and swimming upstream. And it kind of reminds me of what it's like to be a Republican candidate running in Virginia these days. I can kind of feel their pain. Well, you know, I'm a little concerned, though, with Brian and Terry both here. I kind of saw them taking a look around at some of the food tents here. I walked by the guys who were over there cooking the shad, and I saw both of them trying to unionize those cooks and have them going on strike. So listen, no, I'm serious. I'm serious. If you look at their cards, you'll find out that they carry a lot of cards in their wallet. So, well, no, listen. Brian belongs to the Boston Anti-Coal Local 123, and Terry belongs to Clinton Local 456. Now, Terry, I'm getting to that. Terry's a little disappointed. You know, he looks a little down today. I was talking to him earlier, and he was saying when he got here that of course, he got a career as a professional fundraiser, and he was telling me that he said, I came here and I was told there were a lot of big fish here. He didn't know that we meant that literally. But I really do want to thank Terry for the $2.6 million he's pumped into the Virginia economy over the last 3 months. He has created 100 jobs for the people of Virginia, and I want to thank him for... I want to thank him for doing his part to stimulate the economy. Now, Terry, this is Terry's first Shad Planking, as you know. He's going to great lengths to try to make an impact here in the Commonwealth. But I do have to say, I kind of cringed a little bit when he was back there talking to Eric and he said that he'd been hunting shad for a long time here in Virginia. Now Terry's a national guy. This is his first gaggle into the Virginia political scene, and I thought it was kind of funny. We were talking about the money that has to be raised in this race, and he goes, we've both been raising a lot of money, but we really got to pace ourselves. We got to, after this primary is over, we got to have enough money left for Iowa and New Hampshire. And so he's still learning a little bit about campaigning here in Virginia, but he was telling me also he had a conversation with his best buddy Bill Clinton a little bit, trying to explain what the Shad Planking is all about. And he said he told Bill that, it started a long time ago with a bunch of guys that kind of gathered out in the woods, drank a little beer, ate a little food, told a bunch of stories, and, basically got away from the wives for a little while. And he said, Bill replied pretty quickly, well, how fast can I get there? Now, I do have to hand it to Mr. McCollum. He has really done a great job on these signs today, and what it tells me is that... Now, wait a minute. Look, all it tells me is that every member of his staff put up one sign. That's what it tells me. And, I'm particularly pleased that he put the map of Virginia on there so it reminds him what state he's in when he's campaigning. Now, let me just tell you about shad. I've learned some other things about shad, and that is shad spawn at different times of the year, depending on the latitude of the states. They spawn a little earlier in the south, and they spawn a little later in the north. So what that's allowed Terry to do is to go to the March shad planking in Florida and the May shad planking in New York. So he's keeping all those options open. Now look, it's great to see Brian Moran, my longtime friend from the General Assembly, here today as well. Been kind of a tough campaign for Brian. The recession's hit him hard. He lost his job back in November, and he's still looking for a new one. Every day is kind of another challenge. Polls came out the other day, showed Democrat poll, undecided, got 41% of the vote. So Brian immediately starts a new website, says Stop Undecided. And, this is not exactly friendly territory for Brian. I admire his courage coming to Surrey and Sussex in this part of the state. Brian famously has proclaimed that he is the first candidate in Virginia history for governor that opposes coal-fired plants, especially the one right here in Surrey. Now, I know it only creates thousands of jobs and hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, but, I think that's bad in of itself, but I was really kind of concerned when he was over at the shad pit and saw that smoke coming out and said he was going to file suit with the APA to shut that down too. Another thing about shad is they're a fish that have a lot of oil in it and are caught offshore. And now I understand Moran's going to introduce legislation to stop drilling for shad offshore. Now, our friend Creed Deeds is not here. I'm told he's out in Southwest Virginia. Apparently there was a report that there are still 361 uncounted ballots down in Southwest Virginia that he is going to check out.